In the year 605 BC, the mighty Babylonian Empire swept through Jerusalem like a storm. Among the captured young nobles was a brilliant teenager named Daniel, along with his three closest friends, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. Torn from their homes, they were forced to march hundreds of miles to the glittering city of Babylon. Upon arriving in Babylon, these young men faced their first test. King Nebuchadnezzar ordered them to be trained in Babylonian customs, given new names, and fed royal food and wine. The new names were easy enough to accept. Daniel became Belteshazzar, while his friends became Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. But Daniel knew that the royal food had been offered to idols. Daniel says, respectfully, "Please, test us for 10 days. Give us only vegetables to eat and water to drink. Then compare us with the young men who eat the royal food." The guard agreed. After 10 days, Daniel and his friends looked healthier and stronger than all the others. This was just the beginning of their remarkable journey in a foreign land. Years passed, and Daniel and his friends excelled in their studies, showing exceptional wisdom and understanding. But their faith would soon be tested in ways they never imagined. One night, King Nebuchadnezzar had a troubling dream. He demanded his advisors not only interpret the dream, but first tell him what he had dreamed, an impossible task. When none could do it, the king ordered all wise men to be executed, including Daniel and his friends. Daniel, praying, "God of my fathers, revealed to me this mystery." That night, God showed Daniel both the dream and its meaning. The next morning, Daniel stood before the king. Daniel said to the king, "Your Majesty, you saw a massive statue. Its head was gold, its chest and arms silver, its belly and thighs bronze, its legs iron, and its feet partly iron and clay. Then a rock cut by no human hand struck the statue, destroying it completely. The rock became a huge mountain that filled the whole earth." Nebuchadnezzar, amazed, "That was exactly my dream. But what does it mean?" Daniel said, "You, O king, are the head of gold. After you will come other kingdoms, each less glorious than yours. But God will establish his kingdom that will never be destroyed." Impressed by Daniel's wisdom, the king promoted him to be chief of all wise men. He also appointed Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego as administrators of Babylon. But peace wouldn't last long. King Nebuchadnezzar, perhaps inspired by the dream, built a massive golden statue and commanded everyone to bow down and worship it. The penalty for disobedience? Being thrown into a blazing furnace. Babylonian officials announcing, "Whoever does not fall down and worship shall immediately be cast into a burning fiery furnace." But Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego refused to bow. They were brought before the furious king. Nebuchadnezzar, enraged, "If you do not worship the statue, you will be thrown into the furnace. Then what God will be able to rescue you?" Shadrach, calmly, "Our God is able to deliver us from the furnace. But even if he does not, we want you to know that we will not serve your gods or worship the golden statue." The king was furious. He ordered the furnace heated 7 times hotter than usual. The flames were so hot that the soldiers who threw the 3 men in were killed by the heat. Nebuchadnezzar, shocked, "Didn't we throw 3 men into the fire? Look, I see 4 men walking around in the fire, unbound and unharmed, and the 4th looks like a son of the gods." The king called them out, and everyone saw that the fire hadn't harmed them. Not even their clothes smelled of smoke. This miracle led Nebuchadnezzar to acknowledge the power of their God. Years later, under a new king named Darius, Daniel faced his own test of faith. Jealous officials tricked the king into signing a decree that anyone who prayed to any god or human other than the king would be thrown into a den of lions. Daniel, praying by his window 3 times a day, as he had done since his youth, Daniel got down on his knees and prayed, giving thanks to his God. He always prays facing Jerusalem, as he always do. The officials caught Daniel and reported him. King Darius, who greatly valued Daniel, tried to save him but was bound by his own law. With a heavy heart, he had Daniel thrown into the lion's den. Darius, anxiously, "May your God, whom you serve continually, rescue you." The next morning, the king rushed to the den. Darius, calling out, "Daniel, servant of the living God, was your God able to rescue you from the lions?" Daniel, from within, "My God sent his angel, and he shut the mouths of the lions. They have not hurt me." Daniel was pulled from the den without a scratch. His faith had once again proven unshakable. The story of Daniel and his friends is more than just a tale of miraculous rescues. It's about maintaining integrity in a foreign culture, standing firm in your beliefs even when faced with death, and trusting in God's faithfulness even when the outcome is uncertain. These young men showed that true faith isn't about having an easy life. It's about remaining faithful regardless of the circumstances. Their story has inspired countless generations to stand firm in their convictions and trust in something greater than themselves. Daniel went on to serve with distinction under several kings, interpreting dreams and receiving visions about the future. His prophecies brought hope to his people and continue to be studied today. But perhaps his greatest legacy is showing us what it means to live with uncompromising faith in a challenging world.